Hey there fans, Tony here from Run Sabers, and today we've got another video for you. Now this video is going to be a series of several parts of me building my Mandalorian cosplay. Now please like, comment, and share if you like what I'm doing, and please stick around for the new parts coming out. And so let's get into the parts that we got so far. Now right now I'm using a Din Djarin helmet. Eventually we're going to print my own custom helmet, which is going to be, you know, different and different painted as well. We've got Beskar shoulders here that we're going to probably sand and paint silver. And we've got two of those as well. Now, on this armor, we wanted to be kind of asymmetric, but so far, all these pieces are very symmetrical. So paint-wise, we're going to do kind of a mismatch thing. We've got the gauntlets here. They just have the birds on them. I forgot the specific name for them, but they have little holes for those, which I'm thinking about putting LEDs in there. I'm not quite sure now, but we might. Now we've got here the thigh pads for both of them, which turned out actually very smooth, so it would be minimal work to do. And we've got the hand guards for both. And so, a lot of good detail on there. But yeah, so we're going to go through and show you guys the process of me sanding it down and painting it as well to give you the first part. Now the second part's going to be me printing the calves and the chest plate, because the chest plate originally printed was really small, and so I'm going to try to print it differently and hopefully get the full scale. So let's get into it. Alright, so now here we're going to sand all the stuff down. We've got a 120 grit to a 150 grit to a 220 grit. We're going to get this really, really smooth. Now, during this stuff, we're going to get this one and this one extremely smooth. This one I'm only going to sand so much because it's already really smooth, but it is going to get a good paint as well. This, now we decided we liked the texture on this, so we decided to just keep it the way it is. We might sand it down a bit to make sure it doesn't have any sharp edges, and as well as kind of fix up the back. But other than that, I think it's going to stay the way it is, and so we're going to paint this directly. Now, these two are going to get Bondo, and so basically after we get the sanding down, we're going to Bondo it, and then we're going to sand it down, make sure it's smooth, and put primer on it, and then sand down it again. It's a very long process, but the idea is that we get the Beskar as smooth as possible, and so you get that really, really shiny, metallic, reflective smoothness that Beskar has. And so, yeah. Now we're going to cue to the time lapse. Okay, so the parts are now all sanded, and so we're going to go in and put primer on them to make them extra smooth, prep them for paint. Now this is the primer we're going to use, Rust-Oleum ×2, good for plastics and such. So we're going to see this. We didn't use this last time with the helmet, so we're going to see if it turns out better or worse. We'll see, but it should be fine as a primer. It goes fine with everything. So let's get into it. So we're going to be painting different armors, different colors, and so we're going to go into that as well as tell you what we're painting with. So we're going to use a Rust-Oleum. This is a textured brown color, or hammered brown, and so this is going to go on one thigh and then one on the one gauntlet with the whistling birds. So yeah, and then we'll go into detail about painting these specifically later, but for now, brown it is. So now we're going to paint the other side of the armors, which are, not other sides, but the other part of the armors. One side is the brown, and now we're going to go with the dark silver. So this is a Krylon Fusion all-in-one metallic dark metal. And so this will give a kind of feel of that he's collected a lot of his armor, and it's not all one piece, you know, it's a scavenge type of armor. So we're going to do that to the one hand, the other gauntlet, and the other thigh. Okay, so now we've got these parts all finished. These I did not show on camera. This is the shoulder pads that I put Bondo on and sanded and all that jazz. Got it really smooth to my liking. I did put a textured silver to it, and so it had kind of like a cast iron look to it. I don't know how well that camera picks it up, but I'm very pleased with that. Originally I wanted a gunmetal, the same as these, but of course, you know, you need some diversity in your armor. And so the idea is that these shoulder pads were casted later as I got Beskar as a bounty hunter, or you know, Mandalorian. Not bounty hunter, Mandalorian. So going through the parts here, we've got the Whistling Birds gauntlet, and so I'm going to go back and paint the buttons blue and the whistling bird itself silver, and so that'll be intricate detail we cover in part 2. But going in, this is textured brown. It's very glossy, very good coat of this on here. I think we did it twice, 2 coats, and so yeah. We didn't sand it down as much because we knew that the gloss was going to take over a lot of it. I'll go with the next one that was painted brown as well. So we have this thigh one that was painted as the same textured brown. The texture didn't show up as much on this because of the smoothness of it, I guess, or just the way it was spray painted. But yeah, nothing too shabby. The thighs I'm not too worried about. They'll look good either way. But here is the dark gunmetal on the second gauntlet. And so it's kind of cool the way it printed. It kind of looks like it's threaded or twisted with that little greebly there. But yeah, this one's not as smooth, not as glossy as the other one, but still good nonetheless. Now the idea is the dark gunmetal silver that we have is going to be the same, or the part of the original armor that I had. So as a Mandalorian, I'm kind of like a survivor, and so the idea for my original character, even though it might not be canon or accurate, is that I'm a Jedi Mandalorian who has survived and scavenged his parts after losing some of it or damaging most of it. And so the dark gun silver or gunmetal color is the original armor that I've had. And so, and then later, of course, acquiring the shoulder pads out of Beskar, and then finding some other armor off of who knows what to complete it. And so this is just the same as the other one, so I'm not going to show that. I'm going to get another good close detail of this. So, yeah. Next up on the list of to-do things is to prime and paint chest plate, and then glue and Velcro all the pieces back on as well. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to tell you the process of kind of adding it to the flight suit. Now the flight suit I got tailored, and I'm very excited about it because it was very baggy the waist down and I wasn't terribly happy about it. But now I've been able to get it tailored. It's a lot better, very happy with it. So I get to apply the Velcro. I already started doing it, so I'll kind of go through the process and I'll kind of show you how I did it. So we're using the Mighty E6000, and so this was recommended to a lot of people. A lot of people use it. It's supposed to dry 24 hours after applying it, and so I let most of these parts that have Velcro on them dry after about 2 days actually, instead of just the 24 hours. And I think it might have been the amount of glue that I used, but they're not terribly stable. Today I was going on and putting on my shoulder, and I went to take off the shoulder, and it completely ripped off the Velcro pad that was glued onto this shoulder pad. What I decided to do on the suit itself is I originally glued it, but then I decided that that wasn't going to be good enough on the fabric, so I decided to sew the corners in. And so the idea is if I did try to pull it and then the glue didn't settle all the way, it's not going to over time peel off. The fabric is going to be sewed on permanently, and the glue is just there for extra support. And so that's very nice to do. I did that on this one here for the chest plate. The cool thing is too, this one already had like a uniform. It was part of the uniform Velcro, and so now I can just put the chest plate on. All I need to do was add one Velcro here. And that kind of does the trick. I might add some more in the abdomen section because depending on how sturdier that is, I haven't tested out the chest plate yet, but that'll be part 2. Did it on the left shoulder and the right shoulder. On the gauntlets, I did not add any Velcro on the inside at all, mainly because it's already a tight fit. On the gloves that I have, they have foam on them, and so it's very snug, and they're not going to go anywhere. That might be debatable later as I move with it more often. I might be like, this needs more secure, way of holding it. But overall, that's good. These don't have any glue on them because I'm not going to plan on taking these off the gloves too often. So these just use the adhesive that came with the Velcro. Now let's put all these things on and see how it looks. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention was I don't have these attached. So I'm not going to go through those. I'm on the process of gluing and sewing them. So yeah, that'll be for a later video. So you see the whole thing later. So this is what we have so far, all the way. Very nice. Again, as I said before, these aren't attached to anything. They're just kind of snug fit, or friction fit, I should say. And so, yeah, a lot of good movement in here. So, nothing too bad. I'm afraid that the bigger chest plate that we had printed off might clash with the shoulders, because I like this movement. But, yeah, I can do saber stuff with this, which is really cool. It's very movable. Now, let's try it with the helmet on. For test's sake, we've got the Din Djarin helmet, which I probably will use for Halloween and such. Yeah. Right. So yeah, that kind of concludes the video. This is again part 1. We're gonna go in and do the chest plate, add the thighs, do fine detail and all that jazz. Please like, comment, if you have any questions about the build, if you're interested in purchasing armor and such like this, please let me know. Things like this will be available on my Etsy. Please give commissions if you want commissions. Instagram's up there for you. Of course, I hope you have a wonderful day, and may the force be with you. Oh, and always remember,